Hi, Patty. I am at Sullivan's Hardware and Garden on Keystone Avenue in Indianapolis today with my friend Joellen Myers-Sharp, the Hoosier Gardener. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Shannon. Great to be here.
And we are in the Sullivan's houseplant selection, which is looking really fabulous right now.
Really nice, yeah.
Even though it's cold outside, it's very pleasant in here. But we're going to talk about band plants today. People are getting ready to plan their landscapes for spring, but they need to know that there are plants that you should absolutely not put in the landscape.
That's exactly right. And some of them are very popular plants, like the winter creeper, which is a ground cover that people have been using for decades in their gardens. And it can cover the ground. It also can climb up a building. And there's a tree in my neighborhood where it has no leaves at the top of the tree. It's all euonymus at the top of the tree.
Right.
So that plant you can no longer buy in Indiana.
Right. It's kind of a purplish color.
It gets kind of purplish red in the wintertime and it's green in the summertime, you know. It doesn't bloom or anything, I mean, that you can really notice.
Now, there's another plant that has kind of a purplish color, I think, maybe a reddish purple barberry?
Barberry, right. I don't like barberry anyway because it has thorns. I'm not a big thorny plant person, but yes, that's on the banned plant list.
Why?
It's Japanese barberry because they make little, fruits on them, little red fruits, and then the birds eat those and take them out. But it's spread into our natural areas. And that's the reason that most of these plants get banned or, declared invasive. It's because they get into our natural areas, right?
So another one of those is crown vetch. And people might not know what that is, but as you've described it to me, it has kind of a cloverish look to
it. The flowers look like clover, but crown vetch has been used as a ground cover along highways in our state for, again, decades. But because it's very invasive, it's made the list.
So another thing that I would like to talk about is bittersweet, which is especially popular with crafters.
It is, yeah. And actually the one that most people like is the Asian one because it has bright fruit on it and it has a lot of fruit along the stems. But the American one has all of its fruit at the end of the stem. But Asian bittersweet actually can climb and smother a tree.
And we're showing you the difference between the two so that hopefully you can determine for yourself. You might already have it in your landscape and not even know it. And finally, we're going to wrap up with something that I absolutely know people confuse, and that is the very attractive Dame's rocket plant with phlox.
Correct.
Standing phlox, not creeping
like
phlox.
A garden phlox.
Right.
That's what it's called, a garden phlox. And actually, that's a native plant. A lot of people don't realize that garden phlox is a native plant. Huh. But the Dame's rocket has 4 petals on the flower. The flower is made of 4 petals, and then the phlox has 5 petals on the flower.
And it also comes in different colors. I find that Dame's rocket has a tendency towards lavender purpley.
And sometimes white.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not a steady color like we get with the phlox.
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be choosing to add some things to your landscape, or if you need to go out and investigate in case you've already got something invasive, just double check. And of course, you can always check your website.
That's right. Yeah. HoosierGardener.com.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Joellen.
Thank you, Shannon.